The time has come, the year is over, and it's time to talk about fighting games. Yet again. 2019 wasn't as crazy as 2018, but it was still incredibly solid. With series like MK and DOA getting new entries, Samurai Shodown making its grand return, and other games getting continued support, 2019 was a pretty good year for fighting games. Like last time, I'll be going through each game and giving a brief overview and opinion. Remember, my opinion is mine, so feel free to disagree. Enough talk though, let's get right into it. I bring you the 2019 Fighting Game Year in Review. Dead or Alive 6 is the 6th entry in the Dead or Alive series, and that's as much as I can really say. This game had quite a few controversies, but I'm not even gonna get into that mess. Gameplay wise, I thought it was fun. The counters and hold systems specifically caught my interest, and it's something that's unique to DOA. I've heard from some people that the game is mechanically worse than 5, but I'm no DOA expert, and I genuinely enjoyed my time with it. The graphics are nice. I especially liked the stages. Something about their look just clicks with me. Overall, this game just came and went, and nowadays the only reason people talk about the game is to complain about millions of DLC costumes, or how dead it is. Which is a shame, because I think DOA 6 offers a really solid experience for a fighting game. If you like 3D games like Tekken and Soul Calibur, you should give DOA a shot, especially considering the game is pseudo free to play. You can kinda try it out with 1 or 2 characters, and then if you like it, you could buy the others, or just buy the full game. So, honestly, you have nothing to lose. Check it out. I've never been a fan of Power Rangers, so this game wasn't even on my radar, and I would've completely ignored it if it wasn't for a couple of friends of mine giving me the chance to play the game. The best way I can describe it, it's like a simplified version of Marvel 3 with giant robots. Out of all the games on this list, this is the one that's the most casual friendly. The bar for execution is low, and combos are easy to do. I had fun with it, but again, I'm not in the Power Rangers, so it doesn't really do anything for me. If you are a fan of Power Rangers though, I definitely recommend it. This is obviously a passion project, and I respect that. We definitely need more fighting games based on licensed properties. I miss the days where we could get a Marvel vs. Capcom, or a Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, or anything versus anything, you know? We need more versus games. If you want something different, or you need that MVC itch scratched, pick this one up. You won't be sorry. Mortal Kombat needs no introduction. MK11 changed a lot of the gameplay from MKX and Injustice 2, adding new mechanics like the crushing blows, and different types of meter for offense and defense. Variations have been revamped. Now, instead of being stuck to picking 3 variations, you have those 3 variations, and you can make your own custom variation. Variations aren't the only thing that can be customized though. Like in Injustice 2, you can unlock gear pieces and colors for your characters, giving the game that extra layer of personalization. Each character feels unique to play, and with the custom variations, you can tailor your favorite character to play the way you want them to play. For example, say you want to have a low fireball, or maybe you want to have a high fireball, maybe a teleport instead. You get the picture. Like the last 2 MK games, this one is packed with single-player content and online content, keeping both casual and competitive players alike busy. Mortal Kombat is Mortal Kombat. If you wanted to play this game, you probably already have. But if you're a traditional fighting game player like myself, who prefers anime fighters or even games like Street Fighter, I would say give this one a try. I was pleasantly surprised by it. Million Arthur Arcana Blood is a traditional anime fighter from XIII, the developers of Arcana Heart. Initially, this game was released in 2017, exclusively to the PS4, and it was supposed to stay that way until, in 2019, it got a worldwide release on Steam, and only Steam, with zero marketing. Like Fighting EX Layer last year, I didn't play this one, but included it anyway, because I wanted to give it some spotlight. From what I've seen, it looks interesting, but the price is just too high for me, and I've got other games to play. But hey, check it out. Maybe you'll enjoy it. You never know. Oh, also, it has Iori from KOF, so I'm sure the game is automatically amazing, and he's probably the toppest of tiers. Last but not least, we have the return of Samurai Shodown. SNK hit it out of the park with this one. It's a perfect example of bringing back a classic game without compromising complexity. For those unfamiliar, Samurai Shodown is a neutral-based fighter that rewards outplaying the opponent and landing counter hits for big damage. Unlike KOF 14, Samurai Shodown isn't a very combo-heavy game, and the core mechanics are easy to understand, making it easy to pick up and play for veterans and newcomers alike. Although not everything is peachy keen in Samurai Land. Like SNK Heroines, the game is severely lacking in features and modes. KOF 14 is still the best modern SNK game when it comes to content, and the bar isn't even set that high. Hopefully SNK can address this in their upcoming games. Anyway, if you're looking for a Street Fighter alternative or something not so combo heavy, check this one out. That's not all though. Besides the games that came out this year, games I talked about last year got DLC in 2019, so it wouldn't really be a fighting game year in review if I didn't talk about those too. Starting off, we have last year's smash hit Dragon Ball FighterZ. This game has gotten 2 seasons of DLC characters, ranging from fan favorites like Broly and Janemba to some questionable ones like Base Goku and Base Vegeta. Mind you, the game already had regular Goku, regular Vegeta, and Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta. Both seasons introduced some really strong characters that are the bane of some players' existences, like Bardock and GT Goku, both really obnoxious, really strong characters. FighterZ is in a good spot right now. People are still playing, tournaments are doing well, and there's most likely going to be a Season 3. I think it's pretty safe to say that FighterZ had a good year, all things considered. Street Fighter V also got a couple of new characters, but the distribution of said characters was rather slow. The character picks ranged from Evil Ryu 2.0 Kage, and the out of left field picks like Lucia from Final Fight. Initially, I would have said SF5 had a slow year, nothing special, but then Capcom surprised everyone with Championship Edition. Championship Edition includes all of the previously released characters, costumes, and stages. Gil and Seth are also included, but Seth won't be coming out until 2020. But if you want to buy Championship Edition now, you get everything right away, except for Seth, obviously. Overall, a really solid deal, and I never thought I'd say this, but I'm really enjoying SF5 now. If you haven't jumped in yet, now's the perfect time. Like the other two, Tekken received some DLC characters too. In a surprising move, 2 entirely new characters were added, which is something I'm all for, but it feels strange adding completely new characters this late in the game. There was also the frame data DLC, which I will not talk about here. Tekken had a fairly standard DLC season, and I would not be surprised if it got another season or 2. This one should be quick. Fighting EX Layer got a couple of new characters throughout the year, as well as a new guest character in the form of Terry Bogard. That's right, Fighting EX Layer got Terry before it was cool. The game has failed to gain any traction, and it doesn't have much of an audience, which is a shame because I think the core fighting mechanics are actually pretty fun to play with. Even though this game isn't in the best of spots, that doesn't mean it can't turn around. I mean, look at last year with Under Night. I remember talking about how the game came out right after Dragon Ball FighterZ and it was basically sent to die, but hey, look at it now. It's probably the most popular anime fighter besides Dragon Ball FighterZ right now. But yeah, that's Fighting EX Layer. It's still pretty pricey at $40 to $30, but hey, if you want an old school fighter, check it out. The soul still burns. Albeit slowly. Seriously, the character release schedule for this game was omega slow. This is most likely due to the Soul Calibur team being much smaller than the Tekken team, thus not having as much resources. I didn't expect this game to get a Season 2, so it was a pleasant surprise when it was announced at EVO this year. This game is getting pushed to the side, so I hope Season 2 can get it more spotlight. If you haven't played this one yet, now's the best time to go pick it up. It's pretty dirt cheap nowadays, and with Season 2 around the corner, you got plenty of content to look forward to. Last but not least, we have Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Last year, I wasn't very positive about this one, but I'm happy to say my opinion has changed. A big gripe for me last year was a lot of the characters were simplified versions of their former selves, but now that I've looked at the game a little bit more in depth and analyzed the tag system and really gotten the hang of it, I think it was justified. Last year's opinion aside, BB Tag received 2 updates, one that added a couple of new characters, and the 2.0 update, which was a massive balance patch and system overhaul. For simplicity's sake, I'll just lump both of those together. 2.0 adds a whole bunch of new characters for the established fates, as well as introducing 3 new ones, Arcana Heart, Akutsuki Blitzkampf, and Senran Kagura of all things. Besides characters, the UI got a much needed overhaul, and now everything looks much nicer. Except the character select screen. That still is the worst character select screen I have seen in a modern fighting game. It's seriously terrible. Something that surprised me about the update was they included new story mode segments, and you know, I wish more games had this. Because usually when a DLC character is introduced in a fighting game, at best you get maybe a win quote or an arcade ending, if you're lucky. So this content is appreciated. Currently, BB Tag is in a good spot, and I look forward to its future, but come on guys, Persona 5 Arena won. And that about wraps up the 2019 fighting game year in review. Overall, this year was pretty solid. Although, in my personal opinion, the only game I was personally interested in was Samurai Shodown, but I did give a couple of the other games on this list a try, and I was pleasantly surprised. For the older games I mentioned last year that got DLC, it's a great time to jump into those now because either they're at incredibly low prices, or they're getting new content that will keep the game alive for a little bit longer. 2020 is shaping up to be quite the interesting year with the release of Guilty Gear Strive, which is definitely a game that I think will be a defining point going forward, at the very least for the anime FGC. I think it's going to be interesting seeing how that one plays out. I'm optimistic towards 2020 for fighting games, and I think it's, like I said, going to be a very interesting year. I really don't have much to say right now. I'm kind of drawing a blank. All I guess I can really say is keep playing fighting games. They're great. And, well, like always, have a great day, thanks for watching, and goodbye.